2024.
We've got that call with first grade men that we're confident that would come back to us next year. We've now just got to look at ways to attract players from outside the area in.
Alison Paul, NBN News.
In round 3 of the Hunters NPL men's competition, Broadmeadow Magic has secured a 3-2 win over Newcastle Olympic. It was just fantastic for Broadmeadow, who had to end a tie to quickly secure the match winner. Of course, it was just exciting for Broadmeadow and incredible with Broadmeadow winning the match. And of course, many times in the other games, the Lambton Jaffers secured a win over Near Lambton, while Western Workers beat Edgeworth. So too did Adamstown, who hammered Lake Macquarie, while Cooks Hill were too strong for Valentine. So too were Newcastle Olympic, and of course Newcastle Olympic were edged out by Broadmeadow. And of course Cooks Hill and Valentine shared the points at 2-2, while Maitland and Charlestown Azuri had a go, but Charlestown Azuri managed to secure a win. Main time in round 3 of the Hunters NPL women's competition, and Charlestown has secured a 15-0 win over Warners Bay. It was just incredible for Charlestown, who were just too strong for Cassidy Davis's Warners Bay side. And of course, even though Charlestown scored 3 more, even though Warners Bay tried to score, but it was just not enough.
The score for Charlestown is very 13.
Soon it became 14-0. Then the last one became 15-0 after that. And of course with Charlestown Azuri securing the match winner. Meanwhile, in the other matches, and Broadmeadow secured a win over Adamstown, while the matches between the Mid-Coast, Newcastle Olympic, as well as Maitland and Near Lambton were forced to be called off due to the hot conditions. To the Northern League 1 competition, and Singleton had the bye. Toronto, Awaba and Thornton shared the points at 3-3, while South Cardiff had a win over Belmont Swansea. Meanwhile, the matches between Cohiba and Wallsend, as well as West Wallsend and Cessnock City, were both forced to be called off. And of course, next Saturday, the Northern England Premier League comes back, and of course, East Armidale is up against Oxley Vale Uttinger, while the Hilver Rovers are up against the Demon Knights, while Moore Creek is up against Armidale City, while the North Companions are up against South Armidale, while it's a battle of the Uniteds with Norths up against Souths, while Tamworth FC have the bye. To the finals of Newcastle District Cricket, and Wallsend will join West in a battle of the title to become the premiers. And because of that, there'll be another finals which will be on next week. To Central Coast Cricket, and the entrants are the winners after beating Northern Power with a huge win. It was just magnificent for the entrants, who were too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. And of course, it was played up at Tuggerah. To local cricket up in the New England Northwest, and Tamworth City is through to next Saturday's grand final after beating Bective East with a huge win. It was just marvellous for the for Tamworth City, who were too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. There's good news up in the Mid-North Coast cricket competition. Beechwood will play right up against Macquarie Hotel in next Saturday's grand final, after Beechwood demolished Leagues with a huge victory in yesterday's preliminary final up at Oxley Oval. To the semi-finals of the Far North Coast cricket competition, and TBCC will join Cudgeon in next weekend's grand final, after both eliminated Tweed and TLCC in Saturday's preliminary finals. And of course, the grand final will be held next Saturday. And don't forget, before I go, and of course, the Northern Hawks had a win over Western Suburbs 4-0 just about last week. And of course, don't forget, Wyong will play against the entrants this Saturday as part of round 1 of the Newcastle Rugby League competition. And of course, Cessnock are up against South Newcastle on Sunday, while Curry are up against Maitland. Central Newcastle are up against Macquarie, while Lakes United have to bye. And of course, I've gone for the entrants to beat Wyong. I've gone for Cessnock to defeat South Newcastle, while I've gone for Curry to defeat Maitland. I've gone for Central Newcastle to defeat the Macquarie Scorpions. And now, just before we go, and of course, let's have a look at the other competitions. And of course, it's the Lisa Fayola Cup squad, and of course, it's for the Central Coast Roosters girls. And of course, they'll compete right up at the Lisa Fayola Cup at Coffs Harbour on the Mid-North Coast from the 14th to the 16th of April this year. And it's a under 16s and under 17s competition for female players from right across the Central Coast. To news just in, and of course, Tarway City will be home to Macleay Wingham, which will host Foster Tuncurry, while Old Bar head to White in the opening round of the Group 3 Rugby League competition on April the 29th and 30th this year. Well, it was a win for Wurst Creek, North Tamworth and Boggabri right up in Group 4 Rugby League after they all won home trials. And of course, while Dungwin fell to the Wingham Tigers up on the north coast. To Group 2 Rugby League now, and of course the withdrawal of the Urara Valley Axemen from this year's competition has required a new draw. Of course, the competition will start on May 7. There's good news for Group 21 Rugby League as it returns with a trial game on Friday with Greater Branxton up against Central Newcastle. But also, today saw the season launch 4 weeks out from round 1 of the competition.